Well, hello there, and welcome to the next episode of Taking Flight. It's your girl, Megan Holly, and we are tapping into kind of music a little bit today, but in a way that is going to help us find a little bit of intentionality in our lives, in our playlists, all the goodness. As many of you know, I am in a season where music and dance and movement is just huge right now. A lot of you are following on my socials, doing the 365-day dance challenge, which is really so fun. And really there's no rules to it. So if you're not a part of it and you want to become a part of it, there's no rules to it, because 365 days is going to turn into 725 days and 1,000 days for me anyways, because it is a part of my routine, having music and movement, specifically for me, dance, in my everyday life. And so I've loved hearing people just say that they're challenging themselves to put music on a little bit more intentionally, and that they're trying out just dancing a little bit. And some people are really uncomfortable with that because it's not something that they feel like connected to or used to doing. And so I love that. All that to say is I love that. So jump in. It's literally just picking one song a day. You can do more, of course, but at least one song a day that just feels good to you. Putting it on while you're doing the dishes, before you start your day, whenever feels good, and just moving your body, having fun with it. So if you're not on my socials, tap in, because I will send you reminders. I talk about it in my stories. There's plenty of content surrounding it. So if you need a little nudge, come along. But really the purpose of this episode was to talk about earworms. I know, sometimes I have the weirdest just opening. I know, just bear with me. So earworms are songs that are kind of stuck in our heads, or that's what some people call them anyways. And it happens to me all the time. I don't know about you, but 9 times out of 10, if you ask me, do you have a song stuck in your head and what is it? I'd probably be able to say yes, and this is what it is. Because I always have something just kind of playing in my head on loop, and it changes and it moves and it morphs, and sometimes it's the same song for 5 days straight, and sometimes I want to lose my ever-living marbles when that happens, because no matter how much you love a song, there are just times when you're like, I'm done. I have said this chorus enough. But that's what this episode is about, because one day I started thinking about the idea of, what if the songs that are stuck in our heads are meaningful to us? What if they are something we need to extract a little something out of? What if they have a little message? Because I don't know about you, I have had times when I have woke up, I've just got out of bed, haven't heard music, haven't heard anything really yet, and there's a random Justin Bieber song stuck in my head. I'm just going to use that as an example, because one time that was the exact case. I was like, yo, Justin, what you doing? Like, why are you on replay in my head? That was the moment when I thought about this intentional kind of earworm situation, because I was like, maybe I need to listen to it a little bit more. And by listen to it a little bit more, I mean, think about maybe the lyrics, or what is it trying to tell me? And I know this might sound far-fetched for some people, like, okay, the music that's in our head is something we need to pay attention to. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. You can just giggle through this whole episode if it's too silly for you, but I find some stock in it. And there has been times, right? And I'm just somebody who finds meaning in pretty much everything and anything in life. And I feel like it's just a beautiful way to kind of stay in tune and tapped into who we are and where we're going and all of that. And it doesn't have to be all that serious either. Also, it's not this big existential crisis that it needs to be to like tap into everyday life and intentionality and all this stuff. It can just be silly and fun. And there's just been times, and I wish at those moments and those times, I would have wrote down the songs that were in my head and like the little message that I extracted, and I did not do that over time. So I don't have as strong of examples of like exact messages and things that I pulled from songs, but I did want to bring it to the podcast here because I think it's worth kind of talking about and thinking about, because we know music is powerful. We know what we put into our minds and energy is powerful as well. And so this makes perfect sense in my opinion, that there might be something to this. And so one song that comes to mind for me, though, that this kind of sentiment happened was a Janis Joplin song, which I love Janis. I always say if there's somebody that I could meet that is no longer on this earth, she would be one of them. And just because I feel like at a time when being a woman in rock and roll and just living the lifestyle that she did, that she had to have had some stories. I also love that she had a raspy voice, because I don't know if you've been listening to me today, but I always have a little rasp in my voice, and sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better, and it's just part of who I am, and I love it personally. I didn't always, but I do, and I just love some of her music. And so one of her lyrics in a song is freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And this song was in my head, and I don't remember exactly what was happening in life at that time, but I do remember thinking, freedom. What does freedom mean to me? What does that mean? Right? And so I kind of dove into that and listened to that lyric and listened to kind of the feeling of that song. And for me, it's just the feeling of that song is freedom in energy, if you will, as well. And if you're not familiar with the song, definitely go listen to it. But it got me thinking. It got me remembering what's important to me, and freedom in whatever fashion that means for us at any different time in our lives can look so different. At one point, freedom meant making my own business and flexibility in my hours and how I work with people and what I do and what I say and all of that goodness. Other times it might be the freedom to feel comfortable in my body right now. I talked about not always feeling kind of connected, or right now, it's changing already since that episode, but not feeling like my body's my own. But there's freedom in the movement that I've been doing, because I'm able to get back feeling comfortable in my own skin. So whatever that means, right? And this is just the one song that I'm using as an example, but what I'm doing with this episode is I'm imploring you to take a listen around, I should say, to what you're putting into your beautiful head, into your thoughts, and what it might be meaning for you. Are you finding yourself gravitating towards a certain song, genre, artist in this season? And what is it doing for you? Is it helping you? Is it, right? I think we all use music as a tool, if you will. We use it as kind of an escape. We use it as so many different things. But what I think we can make sure that we're doing is being really intentional about it. I also feel like it's a great kind of little segue to talk about the idea that there are times when I am listening to a song, and although maybe I enjoy the song or it's nostalgic or whatever, I don't necessarily resonate with the message that it's saying, or I don't like the negativity that's coming out of it, or whatever it is, right? And this is getting really nitty gritty for probably some ways of thinking, but it's true. What we are surrounding ourselves in and around and putting into our minds is something that can really play a part in how we feel, in the way we go about our day. And so in this dance challenge, for instance, I am choosing songs that feel good, that lift me up. And there's a time for a somber song, a sad song, a song that, just gets you in your feels. But for this intentional purpose of seeing what dance and movement can do in my life, the songs that feel good are going to be the ones that are going to win right now. And so I want to implore you to take a look at those earworms that are in your just kind of replay. Do you have just like one song on repeat? Are you shuffling? Are you know what I miss? This is a little bit of a digression, but I miss the 6 CD changers. They were bulky and they were something else, but goodness gracious, did you have a lot of options in there? Not only did you have 6 different CDs, you had all the different songs on each of the discs. so much variety and options happening. But what I'm getting at with that just kind of silly kind of connection is that, what is going on in that kind of head of yours? How are you tapping into it? What is music doing for you or not doing for you? There's times this might sound kind of, goofy, but sometimes I'll change the words of a song because it just doesn't feel like I like the song and I don't want to turn it off, but I don't want to kind of live into the word that it's saying or what it's trying to portray, if you will. So it's like I sing the song and I just blip that one little word out, and it's like my own little creative take on it. So these are just little ways to kind of embrace something that really is powerful. Music changes our vibration. It changes our energy. It changes our connection to other people. When you're at a wedding, for instance, and you're someone who's on the dance floor, which is totally me. I don't think that's a surprise to most people. But I'm definitely on the dance floor from the beginning to the very bitter end of any wedding that I've ever been to, probably. But you're dancing, you're laughing, you're do-si-doing or spinning somebody, and like this human connection's happening. So it goes without saying that it is powerful as all get out. So use it to, be just that in your life. Use it to be this resource and tool to fuel what you need. And we already all do this. I'm not saying anything that's rocket science. It's not going to be like, whoa, man, you're saying something I've never understood in my life, right? I'm not. But that's not the point. That's literally not the point, right? It's the idea that we are kind of grounding down into intentionality and seeing how just everyday life is influencing us. And music for most people is in some way, shape, or form an everyday life kind of thing. And so the next time you get an earworm, just play it on loop. Listen. See what it's telling you. See what it wants you to hear. Maybe it's a new, fresh perspective on something that you're feeling stuck on. Maybe it's validation that you're on the right track. I know I've had that many a times where a song comes on and it's like, heck yeah, I'm on the right track. I have songs that are signs of people who have passed. And in the last week, I have heard Stand By Me 3 times in the most random of ways. Like the first time was like a weird, it was my brother sent me a version of it that was really interesting. This person put like a very unique spin on it and it was really cool. And he randomly texted me and my 2 other brothers and just shared it. So that was like number 1. Number 2, I heard it randomly playing when I was out and about. And then number 3, my husband was playing his guitar and it was like, he wasn't like stringing it all together. He was just like kind of like picking at the strings. So it was a really kind of distorted in a way and kind of disconnected. And so you almost couldn't even tell what he was playing. But I was like, wait, what is that song? And he was like, Stand By Me. And I was like, of course it is. Right. And it was like 3 times, which we know 3 is one of my favorite, abundant, lucky, all the numbers. And I was like, 3rd time. And I was like, what's up, Greg? That is somebody in my life that I love who has passed. And I was like, thanks for the validation. Thanks for the goodness of just letting me know. Right. And no matter what we think, feel, etc. about anything, we can attach meaning to whatever it is that helps support our needs. And for me in that moment, it was just those little trickles of that. So this like earworm essentially that was kind of kept sneaking its way into my brain. And it wasn't on a loop quite like a true earworm, but it was working its way in, was a validating reminder that, there's people around us that care about us, that good things are happening and all of that. So get quiet, get friendly with those earworms that are popping in and see what they're telling you. And also I want to hear kind of your stories. Do you have any unique experiences with songs that have meaning for you, whether they mean, somebody's kind of watching over you, they give you a power boost, like what is it? Let me know. I want to hear what songs they are for you. I'm always looking for new songs to put on my 365-day dance challenge playlist as well, which I share out into my stories often so that people can jump into it and they can, add it into their playlist as well. So let me know some of your favorite songs. Let me know what music does for you. What's your favorite, genre song? Let me know. Music, I could talk about it all day long. It is just something that really is part of my heart and existence. And I hope that this episode just makes you think, if nothing else, makes you think a little bit differently about the way music plays a part in your life and what it's telling you. So go on with your week and enjoy. Go maybe put on your favorite song right now. I don't know. What's kind of in your energy field? What are you thinking feels right for you in this moment? And put it on. Let it change your energy. Let it be exactly what you need right now. And just get out there and just embrace it and maybe do a little boogie along the way. Enjoy, my friends.